ever think about, like, what happens to the land if there's a gas station leak?
Yeah.
Or how about, when they're building something huge, what about the soil underneath?
Yeah, it's not something you think about every day, is it?
No, but it's super important, right? And that's what we're diving into today. Soil remediation. You guys sent in some stuff about GreenFlow, so we're going to dig into them. What they do, why it matters to, well, everyone, and what to even look for when it comes to, like, cleaning up the ground we walk on.
What's really interesting about soil remediation is it's kind of hidden, right? But it's a big deal for everything, from our homes to, like, the whole environment,
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind, until there's a problem. So GreenFlow sent over some info, and it looks like they're on top of things. Innovative techniques, making sure they're following all the rules, and they're big on sustainability, too. Not just, like, chucking dirt around, huh?
And that whole following the rules thing, that's huge. Imagine. You need your soil cleaned up, right? Some company comes in, does it cheap and fast, but they don't do it right, legally speaking. Huge fines, maybe health risks, too. We're talking serious money here, depending on what they messed up.
Oh, no kidding. So you got to be careful, right? You need an expert, basically. And speaking of experts, GreenFlow's thing is customized plans, saying it's not one-size-fits-all dirt cleaning. Why is that?
Think of it like different kinds of messes need different kinds of cleaning, right? Industrial chemicals in clay soil. Whole different beasts than, say, lead in sandy soil. One might need fancy extraction, the other maybe it adds stuff to lock the bad stuff in place. It all depends.
So, like, if you're going to buy a house or even just live in a place known for, like, factories or whatever, this is something to really pay attention to, huh? What's under the surface matters.
Big time. That's why understanding the process and the company doing it is so important.
They've got this whole process laid out. Starts with site evaluation, which makes sense, gotta know what you're dealing with. Then it's making a plan, which I guess is where those custom plans come in, huh?
Exactly. And this part is really cool. It's not just looking at the dirt, it's high tech. Ground penetrating radar, taking samples, analyzing them in a lab, to figure out exactly what's there and how much. Way more intense than you'd expect.
Wow. CSI. Dirt edition. Okay, so then they know the problem, and they move on to actually doing something. This is where the magic happens, I guess.
Totally. And this is where the custom stuff really matters. Depending on what they found, they might use soil vapor extraction to pull out nasty stuff, or maybe bioremediation, where tiny creatures eat the pollution. Sometimes they even have to dig it all up and take it away to a special spot.
It's kind of wild how much goes into it, right? And it's not just like construction sites either. I was looking at GreenFlow's website, their FAQs, and they deal with stuff I never would have thought about.
Right. You think soil remediation, you think big factories, right. But GreenFlow, they handle like hazardous waste, industrial stuff, even medical waste. Can you believe that? Shows you how connected it all is, to our health, the community.
Makes you think, right? Like, what about hospitals? They got to be super careful, even more so. It's not just cleaning up a spill. It's got to be like next level clean.
Totally. Can't just be gone. Got to think long term. Like medical waste, some of that stuff, if it's not handled right, it can leak into the groundwater. Years later, problems.
Yeah.
So you got to stop that from happening.
Yeah, it's way more than just what you see on the surface, that's for sure. Speaking of long term, they partner with that one tree planted group, right?
Yeah.
For every project, plant a tree. Pretty cool.
Love it. You're seeing more companies doing stuff like that now, especially in these kind of industries. And it's not just for show. Planting trees actually helps. Climate change, stopping erosion, giving animals a place to live. Everybody wins.
Yeah, makes it feel less, I don't know, serious.
Yeah.
Okay, last thing, and I bet everyone's wondering, how much does this cost? GreenFlow's site kind of dances around it, says it's all custom.
Well, yeah, think about it. Different contaminants, different places, different solutions. It's like impossible to say it costs X, Every job is its own thing.
Makes sense. Like, you wouldn't want your doctor to be like, here's the standard treatment, right?
Yep.
You want someone who knows what you need.
Exactly. And just like your health, cutting corners with this stuff, bad idea. It might seem cheaper now, but later on could be way worse. This is an investment,
Yeah.
Your property, your community.
Totally. It's like, you got to do it right, or you'll pay for it later, one way or another.
Yeah.
Especially with something this important, right? Like the ground, it's everything.
Yeah, no kidding. It's not just about today, it's about tomorrow, too. And that actually makes me think about something kind of cool. GreenFlow, they've been around since 92, right? That's got to be, 30 years?
More than that. They've seen a lot of changes, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So what's something big they've had to adapt to? Something we haven't even talked about yet?
One of the biggest things is probably those, whatchamagabbit? Emerging contaminants.
Emerging contaminants. You have to explain that one.
Okay, so imagine stuff that like 20, 30 years ago, nobody even knew was a problem. Didn't even know to look for it, right?
Okay.
So there's this thing, PFAS. Forever chemicals, they call them. Because they basically don't break down. Ever.
Oh, yeah. I think I heard about those. They're like in everything.
Yeah. Nonstick pans, firefighting foam, all sorts of stuff. And guess what? Now they're in the soil, the water, everywhere. And they're not good for you. Not at all.
Yikes. What about, like, plastic? Isn't that a big problem, too?
Absolutely. Those microplastics, tiny little bits of plastic, they get everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Hard to even get rid of, too, because they're so small.
It's kind of scary, you know?
Yeah.
Makes you think GreenFlow's work is even more important than we thought.
Totally. They got to stay ahead of the game, figure out how to deal with these new problems, the science, the technology. It's always changing.
Makes you realize it's not just about finding any company to do this right.
Yeah.
You want one that's, like, doing it right, ethically, responsibly, all that, for us now and for our kids later.
100% agree.
Well, this has been amazing. Learned a lot about dirt, that's for sure, thanks to you, of course, and to everyone listening. And hey, next time you're outside, take a second to think about what's going on under your feet, right? It's the whole hidden world down there.